In this video, we'll begin our discussion of pivot tables. I think it's safe to say that pivot tables may be the most used tool in the world to analyze data. So we want to really give you a good understanding of all the little tricks that are involved in using pivot tables. So let's start in the file groceries PT temp with the following data. We have sales at a supermarket, and what we have in each row is the year of the sales, the month of the sales, the store, south, east, north, or west, the product group, milk, ice cream, fruit, or cereal, and then the products here. And then we have the units sold and the revenue. And we'd like to slice and dice this data. Perhaps we'd like to know for every year, what did we sell in each product group of every product? And a pivot table does this in seconds. If you remember the SUMIFS function, basically the pivot table we're going to create does tens, if not hundreds, of SUMIFS functions. So to do a pivot table, you need to have headings in the first row. And the nice thing is you don't have to select your data. You just need the cursor anywhere inside your data. So you put your cursor inside this data, you go insert and you go pivot table. Okay, it picked up the entire range. Let's do existing worksheet. Pick the upper left-hand corner, anywhere over here is fine. And we'll click OK. Now the key thing here is we've got the pivot tailed field list. There's 4 parts: filters, rows, values, and columns. Best to learn by example. So you try and picture in your mind how you want the calculations to look when you're done. So we said we wanted to know for each year how we did. So we put year in the rows. Now you see the years. Then we want to know each product group. We put that right below. So now we see a shell with no calculations, 2005 cereal and all the cereals we sold, etc. And what do we want to calculate? Well, let's do just revenues. We don't need units, just revenues is fine. And that would tell us basically what we sold every year of every product group and of every product. Now, filters we'll get to later, and we'll get to columns later, but there is our pivot table. Now, if we look at this, what do these numbers mean? That is total cereal sales in 2005. Sorry, total sales in 2005. This is total cereal sales, and then we have the total of the cereals broken down by product. Now, the first thing you might note is these sales are in dollars. You might want to change the format. So you would double click on sum of revenue, go number format, and you would say currency. And now you have that in dollars, which is nice. There we go. Now, you can also use some neat features on collapsing fields to make your pivot table look a different way if you don't like this appearance. So if you put the cursor in cereal, you see this little minus button, and see, look at that little arrow. If I click on that, basically it will collapse all the cereal data, the Cheerios, Raisin Bran, and Special K sales. See, now I can click on that plus and bring it back. Okay, now suppose I want to collapse not just cereal, but fruit, ice cream, and milk. Put the cursor in cereal, and then if I go to analyze, there's these plus and minus buttons here. If I would say minus when I'm in cereal, it will not just collapse cereal, but it'll collapse basically all the product groups. So cereal, fruit, ice cream, and milk, and I can use the plus sign to bring it back. Now let's talk briefly about sorting. Okay, so basically it's got 2005 first, and then 2006 and 2007. Maybe you want the most recent year first. If you have the cursor in a year, you can go here, you can sort largest to smallest. And now I have 2007 on top. You can also sort alphabetically, okay? So basically, if I would go to the sorting button here, I could say Z to A and milk will be on top. That's pretty nice. So one last thing in this video, what does it mean to drill down to your data? Bill Gates, I think, coined this phrase. Well, I think it came from pivot tables. If you double click on any cell in a pivot table, you'll see all the source data that generated that cell. So if I click on this 30,567.38, and I double click there, I will see all the sales of chocolate milk in 2007. And there it is. In the next video, we'll continue our discussion of pivot tables and learn about value filters.